No change at the box office? Golden nom noms. What is comedy? Ryan Reynolds has the answers. To the Burrow-mobile. Keeping the DC world separate. Eyed for Potter. Mike Myers. Donkey Time. Shrekcellent.
All of that and so much more, but first, news dump. Mac, we got a request on YouTube, and we will honor that request. One of our frequent viewers on the YouTube, smash and subscribe that like button. Is that what you do on YouTube?
Yeah, I think so.
You smash the like button, right?
Right.
Okay. This is from Coach J77. One of our frequent viewers. I like to poke at his age because he doesn't like when we make age jokes. But he wants us to explain the 40 hot dog thing. He doesn't get it. And I understand that we've had almost 500 regular Mac and Goo episodes. We probably mentioned hot dogs 450 times.
Yeah, it's we got to explain it every once in a while as newer listeners come in. The genesis of it is pretty stupid, honestly, but that's
I was going to say, I gave him a little thing. I'm like, we'll explain it next episode, but don't expect too much.
Yeah, it's perfect for us because we are big stupid idiots. Before we were ever reviewing movies seriously on this program, and I would argue we don't.
I was going to say we don't do it very serious now.
In our first year as a podcast, Goo and I discussed how many hot dogs one might eat over a summer. And I claimed I ate about 40 hot dogs over the summer. And so it just became a running thing about 40 hot dogs. And so when we began reviewing movies consistently, instead of just talking about them here and there, you're like, well, we need a rating system. Everyone does it out of 100. Everyone does it out of 10. What's unique to us? 40 hot dogs.
Right. And first off, the 40 hot dog thing came in our second ever episode that I'm not even sure we used.
Okay. All right.
And then also, I believe when we first started doing movies, we did thumbs. We have 4 thumbs, and we counted thumbs. You could do half thumbs.
I don't even recall that. You might be making that up.
We did that for like 1 or 2 episodes. And also, I thought it was preposterous that you ate 40 hot dogs in a summer. And since then, I have definitely gone well over that, as sometimes I'll eat 5 to 8 hot dogs in a sitting, which is not healthy, but here we are.
Especially when children are around. So like, little kids love hot dogs, and then all of a sudden Raffy doesn't eat 1.5 hot dogs, and now you have an extra 1.5 hot dogs on top of the 2 you already ate. You know, it's not that preposterous of it's a lot of hot dogs, don't get me wrong, but it's not that preposterous of a thing.
I would say my hot dog record in one sitting is when I go to Flo's up in York, Maine, or just outside of York, Maine. I've had a 10 to a dozen red snappers.
Love that for you.
That for you. I have a problem.
Yeah, you get a wiener problem.
I can't stop eating. So there's your 40 hot dogs. News dump. Over at the box office, a repeat of last weekend. Moana 2, 52 million. It is now at 300 million, both domestically and internationally. 600 million worldwide. It's really going to be in the billion numbers. It's going to be huge, huge numbers for Disney this year. Wicked, 35 million in its third weekend, 320 domestic, 455 worldwide. 12.5 for Gladiator 2, 132 million domestically, 386 worldwide. It is Denzel Washington's highest grossing film of all time.
That's surprising. It's also 368, not 386. No, that doesn't really matter.
My dyslexia is acting up.
Goo, I'm really interested on your thoughts on the 4th movie here.
Is that a Pusha T movie?
Coming in 4th,
The Rule.
Pushpa, The Rule Part 2. I'm assuming it's a Bollywood movie. Those just pop up every once in a while. I've never heard of this, but it made 9.3 million. 5th place, Goo, 7 million for Red One, which is hitting streaming this week. It's coming to Prime this week, so I'm happy I didn't pay hard-earned American dollars for that. And two important notes here. Finishing in 6th is the 10th anniversary of Interstellar, the re-release, 4.4 million. So that's pretty cool. I did consider going to see it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think
that's pretty neat.
Finished 6th on a re-release. That's pretty good. And then in 8th, a movie you still are regretting not seeing a couple weeks ago is Kyle Mooney's directorial debut, Y2K, made 2 million.
Y2K, I was alive during that time, and I love Kyle Mooney.
That's true. I always say the 2 most significant things from our childhood were Y2K and
Yeah.
9/11, and you always remember everything around both those things.
Macarena. I might put the Macarena above both.
Who let the dogs out? Baja Men.
Who Let the Dogs Out is pretty big. What else was big? Because I would say that really our minds, it would be 95 on, right? Because that's like when we
And
really
Eiffel
have.
65 too. I'm blue.
No, you wouldn't put that up there. Like Macarena swept the nation.
Hey, Macarena.
Just do a top 10, and it's like Pokemon.
Who let the dogs
Macarena,
out swept the
Who Let the
nation
Dogs
though
Out,
too.
and
Yeah.
then 9/11.
And who could forget always
9/11.
9/11.
Mac, the Golden Globes have come out. News
Hey!
dump. No, the Golden Globes haven't, but the
The
nominations have.
nominations. Well, maybe the
And
Globes are out too. They just haven't awarded them.
well, yeah, so they've been printed. The 3D printer has made them.
Molded.
They've been molded. Are they
Sculpted.
gold? That would make sense. They are Golden
Probably gold
Globes.
plated.
Do you think they're just plastic and then they're spray painted gold? Like when Frank Reynolds did that, It's Always Sunny? The biggest question I have, so for Best Picture, musical or comedy, musical / comedy, so musical and comedy, either or,
Musical
or
comedy. Yep.
So there are some that I have not seen yet. I think that you and I will see most of these by the time that we get to the Academy Awards.
Mm-hmm.
But we have Anora, Challengers, which I couldn't stop laughing during, so I'm glad that's on here. Amelia Perez, A Real Pain, which I do really want to see. I missed the screening, but it's because it was in Coolidge Corner, and I refused to go to Coolidge Corner.
That is the one with Culkin and
Eisenberg.
Yes, Eisenberg. That's right.
Yes, and I do. That reminds me of what was the Paul Giamatti movie from last year? I shouldn't be blanking. That was a really good movie. Just the overall look of it.
The Holdovers.
The Holdovers. Thank you.
Yeah.
Then you have The Substance, which was there music in this one? Were people singing along to this?
Yeah, and the final nominee is Wicked. So the first two on this list, Honor and Challenges, are like outright dramas.
Yeah.
There's, of course, some comedy in Honora.
Well,
but
it was funny in Challengers when Zendaya was pointing at the redhead's penis and just laughing at it.
Those are outright dramas, legitimate dramas. I have not seen Amelia Perez. I think that actually might be a musical. We'll get to that towards the end. The Substance is comedic. It's not an outright comedy. It's sort of a dark comedy. So, okay, I can get that.
Kinda.
It makes sense. But Honora and Challengers are straight up dramas. So the Golden Globes has to figure out what they do. You could just go full Academy and nominate 10 films instead of doing 2.
Just stop doing this.
Because this is dumb. Every single year in the musical comedy category, there's like one legitimate musical, one legitimate comedy.
The Martian won one year.
And the rest are all dramas. So how about you just do, we don't need to nominate 10 dramas. There's a clear 1 or 2 favorite. So just do your drama category and maybe don't do musical and comedy, or only nominate the 2 or 3 musical and comedies that deserve to be there. We don't need 1 musical, 1 comedy, and 4 more dramas.
By the way, Wicked is also nominated for this, and Wicked should just win by default. And I don't even love Wicked, but by default, it's definitely a musical.
Yeah, it can be confirmed as a musical. Yeah.
And also, it's silly enough to be considered a comedy as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ariana Grande was very.
So you know
comedic.
what? It fits the fucking parameters of what the award is.
The only one that really does.
Best Picture Drama, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, which I liked it, but people always love these, 1960s period pieces biopics, so I understand.
But that's what I'm talking about, this bullshit. So in order to nominate 10 dramas, like you have something like that that's probably not going to win, but they're like, Timothy Chalamet and Bob Dylan, so we got to nominate it.
They should just do Best Picture for every single genre. Like,
hold on. Not
Best
for nothing.
Picture, Sea Adventure.
Not
Who
for
wins?
nothing.
I don't know.
A Complete Unknown is more of a musical than 4 of the musicals in that. 4 of the musical
you
comedies
could
in that
slip it as a
category.
musical.
Yeah, that would make more sense than 4 of the nominees in that category.
I did like my father-in-law. I asked him what he thought of the movie, and his first review was, too much music. We know all the music.
Well,
why are you telling us all the music? We know all this music.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. But there's
Tom
probably a whole
Cleave.
generation that doesn't, though.
Dune Part 2, Nickel Boys, September 5th.
Nickel Boys is the Nickelback Genesis story.
Right, yeah.
That's how it begins. So of these nominees, Honor's the one I am most excited to see. Amelia Perez, I'll just I won't bury the lead here. This led all movies nominated at the Golden Globes with 10 nominations,
Okay.
the most nominated comedy/musical film ever. So I think that's something I'm gonna have to add to the list. I have never even heard of it. Didn't hear of it until 1 hour ago, so I'll add that. I agree with you. I'd like to see A Real Pain as well. Conclave, I have not heard of. Nickel Boys, I have not heard of. So again, we don't need 12 nominees between these two categories. Get it down to our top 5 or 6 and make it one category.
Do we really have to read through all of these, or can we just skim now?
It's up to you. I mean, I don't. I'll pipe through them. Best actor in a drama. We have Adrian Brody, The Brutalist. Timmy Shal's Complete Unknown. Daniel Craig from Queer. Coleman Domingo from Sing Sing. Ralph Fiennes from Conclave. Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice. Best actor
It's like
musical
Timothy
comedy.
Chalamet was better in Dune 2 than in this movie, but that's fine.
Okay, all right. I'm glad you mentioned that because we got a double nominee coming up. Jesse Eisenberg, A Real Pain. Hugh Grant, Heretic. Gabriel LaBelle, Saturday Night. Jesse Plemons, Kinds of Kindness. Glenn
Ugh.
Powell, Hitman. I like that he got nominated for that. And
I do too.
Sebastian Stan, a second nominee for A Different Man. So he's nominated in both the drama and musical comedy
I also
category.
like how it's, him trying to disguise himself as a different man. Like, that's a different I'm a different man, Sebastian Stan.
Oh, look at you. You're a
Yeah.
poet. You didn't even know it. Best actress, drama. Pam Anderson, The Last Showgirl. I didn't know this was a thing. I'm going to go ahead and absolutely watch that. Angelina Jolie, Maria. Nicole Kidman, Baby Girl. Tilda Swinton, The Room Next Door. Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here. Kate Winslet, Lee. I don't know if I've heard of any of those. That I might be 0 for 6 on those
No,
ones.
I haven't heard those.
Best actress comedy musical, Zendaya, Challengers, Amy Adams, Night Bitch. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Woo!
Cynthia Erivo, Wicked, Carla Sofia Gasson, Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison for Honora, and Demi Moore for The Substance. I was wondering if Demi would be considered the lead. I guess she is maybe in it a little bit more over Margaret Qualley, but that's about as 50-50 as a movie gets
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
Best supporting actor, Denzel for Gladiator 2. That's his 12th overall nomination. Pretty amazing. Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain. Guy Pearce, The Brutalist. Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice. Yuri Borisov, Honora. Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown. Best supporting actress, Ariana Grande, Wicked. Zoe Saldana, Amelia Perez. Felicity Jones, The Brutalist. Selena Gomez, Amelia Perez. This Amelia Perez kind of has a loaded cast. I guess I gotta watch it.
Juiced.
Margaret Qualley, The Substance, Isabella Rossellini, Conclave. Dude, best director here. I think there's a pretty notable person missing. You tell me who.
James Mangold.
Well, okay, I guess there's two.
And then Denis Villeneuve. But
Yeah, yes.
both of them, I thought people would really be with. So they just love Timothy Chalamet. Like, no one else from that movie is nominated. So it's nominated for best movie, and then Timmy Chalamet. This is A Complete Unknown, by the way. And then I thought that what is the child actress's name that is now in that movie? She was really, really good.
I haven't seen it. I wouldn't be able to help
You
her.
can speak for a second.
Okay, so best director noms here. Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez. Sean Baker for Honora, who I feel like it's
Elle Fanning. Elle Fanning was very good.
Dakota's sister.
Yeah.
Sean Baker for Honora. Edward Berger for Conclave. Brady Corbett for The Brutalist. Coralie Farge for The Substance. Payal Capadilla for All We Imagine as Light. I feel like them not nominating Mangold or Villeneuve means Sean Baker's absolutely going to win that award for Honora. That's just weird that you could argue for sure the biggest movie of the year, Dune 2, the director not getting nominated.
I thought it checks all the boxes of being artsy. It looks beautiful. It appeals to a wide audience.
Absolutely
but hey, why would we want to do that?
Yeah, so Dune 2 only garnered 2 nominations, Best Picture, and get this, Goo, it gets nominated for Best Original Score, even though the Academy said it won't be nominated here, won't be nominated at the BAFTAs, but is eligible at the Golden Globes. They got to figure out what they do. Goo, you have your hand raised.
Not including the Mac and Goo Awards, because those are top-notch. Are awards bullshit?
Oh, of course they are.
There we go.
The same way they are in sports. Most of them are bullshit. They're all
actually. It was
bullshit.
I think it was Lana Del Rey who said over the weekend that she didn't know with the Grammys that they had to be submitted for, in the category. She thought just the best song won.
Yeah, right. No, there's a whole movement on the back end from the companies that make the music.
No, I can tell you as someone that submits awards for certain things that yes, you need to You need to pay dues.
Yeah, it's a whole bullshit thing, which makes the award dumb. Goose, some notes here, unless you have some more notes about those
No,
nominations.
just give me notes. We've already done too
So
much on this.
the Penguin earns nominations in all three of the categories it was eligible for: Best Actor for Kristen Milioti, Best or Actress Kristen Milioti, Actor Colin Farrell, and Best Limited Series. There's a chance it could win all three of those.
I
Against
would have liked for best supporting actor too, but
for
what's his name there?
Victor.
Yeah, Victor. It
That
was
wouldn't
good.
have been too bad. Again, Sebastian Stan nominated for two different roles in two different categories. Catherine Hahn gets a Best Actress nomination for Agatha. How about that, Goof?
Oh,
For
didn't best
television.
supporting in Agatha also go to what's her name from Agatha? What's her name? The one
Uh,
that you liked more than
Plaza,
me.
Aubrey Plaza.
No, the other one. The other witch. Down the Witch's Road. I think she was nominated, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we didn't really dive too much into the
No.
TV aspect here. Good. Deadpool and Wolverine just gets a single nomination for Best Cinematic and Box Office
What is
Achievement.
the point of this award? That's what the money is for.
Yeah, so that's like, but so I don't understand. So Dune also doesn't get nominated for that. I don't understand. Like
It's their
cinematic and box office
workaround.
achievement.
It's their workaround to have like the big movie
I
nominated for
get that, but
something.
Dune
It's
should be
garbage.
nominated for that. I
As
don't
Don
get it.
Draper said, it's what the money is for.
5 nominations for The Substance. I do like that. That's a big
Yes.
dub. The Wild Robot becomes the most nominated animated film ever at the Golden Globes with 4 nominations. So that's a nice little tidbit there too. The nomination leaders here, Goo, is confounding. So Amelia Perez gets 10, The Brutalist 7, Conclave 6, Honora 5, The Substance 5, Wicked gets 4 for Best Actress, Supporting
Yeah.
Actress, Picture, Cinematic, and Box Office Achievement. Challengers gets 4.
Oh, that would be a great award. Just give it to a
Cheesiest
mouse every year
cheesiest
or
scene
a
of the
rat.
year. Yeah. Challengers 4, Wild Robot 4, A Real Pain 4, Complete Unknown 3. It just seems like the Golden Globes are all over the map. In the format they have it just doesn't really work. I don't know. It is what it is. It is like the first step leading up to the Oscars,
Yeah.
so it gives you an idea of what might win at the Oscars. But the fact that like these big massive organizations can't get on the same page is very frustrating.
And we'll track all the winners leading up to the Oscars because you can use all this information to figure out who's going to win an Oscar, and you can
Yeah.
bet on those.
Yeah, sure can.
We did pretty well last year, actually, on our bets.
Yeah, last couple years I've done pretty decent.
News dump. Speaking of actors, THR announced their Actors on Actors, where they pair up actors to talk about, get this, acting. And one of the announced pairings was Deadpool and Spider-Man themselves, Ryan Reynolds and Andrew Garfield. And someone on X made a point of saying, what is this clown Ryan Reynolds doing here? He's not a real actor. And Ryan Reynolds responded to this with a very long post saying, look, Andrew Garfield did an amazing job. Him and Rachel, Pugh. And he made the point of saying, look, dramatic acting is hard, and you can see how hard it is. But with comedic acting, it's supposed to look easy. It's supposed to look effortless. So you shouldn't even notice that they are acting. And he wants people to start respecting comedic acting more.
I think, and I don't think people truly understand this, and I'm not going to pretend that Ryan Reynolds is a better actor than Andrew Garfield, because I think Andrew Garfield can do
Andrew
everything
Garfield is an amazing
I think he can
actor.
do everything Ryan Reynolds can do and then some. But
Yeah.
the point I'm making here is comedic acting is way harder than dramatic acting. People know what anger, sadness, and grief. They know that. They know how to do that. Most people don't know how to be funny. And so when you're trying to act funny, when you're not genuinely funny, that's even harder. So
It comes off really bad usually.
Yes. So people should not underestimate that. And again, that's not to say that Ryan Reynolds should be propped up over an Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's really fucking hard to do what Ryan Reynolds does. Even though it is more one note, that one note is harder than most things. And moreover, like, yes, Ryan Reynolds sort of plays a pseudo Ryan Reynolds most of the time these days. Denzel Washington's been playing Denzel Washington for 30 years, and we love it. It just is what it is. When someone's really good at one thing, they're just going to keep doing that thing, and that's okay.
Yeah, someone made a good point on there too of, remember when Hugh Jackman tried comedy with movie 43? And it was just a picture of him with a giant sack on his chin? Being
Uh,
funny is hard.
yeah, it's very hard. It's
Yeah.
very hard. In
You know who
fact, maybe
deserves
the
more
hardest.
credit? Ryan
Who?
Gosling. He can do everything.
He sure fucking can. He sure can. Yeah.
He can be serious, he can be funny.
Mhm.
Goss needs more respect. Start paying for his movies, people.
Yeah,
Make him
what
a
the
movie
fuck?
star.
Jesus.
All right. News dump. You know, Joe Burrow, we talked about this a couple weeks ago about there were 10 replica Batmobiles put on sale, the Tumbler from the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight
Yeah,
trilogy,
10 versions of that.
just under $3 million. And
Mhm.
Joe Burrow, with his small fortune, his small Scrooge McDuck like fortune, purchased one of the Batmobiles.
Yeah, this is amazing. He actually, I'm kind of mad he didn't purchase 2, so him and a friend can have, like, battle bots, you know? This is the type of person now, again, anyone that can afford a $3 million vehicle that's not street legal can probably afford this type of thing,
I don't
but
think he understands that it's not street legal, by the way. The way that
well,
he's
maybe
talking
not.
about it, he's like, I'm going to drive it to work every day. You're not allowed to.
Again, one of these people, at least one, has to do the best they can to get it street legal. I really want to see that thing street legal and what it would look like. But the flip side is like, I'm sure he's got enough property that he can just fucking fly around on a thing on his property and like
Yeah.
smash trees with it or something.
He was also speaking with his wide receivers, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, about how, look, I'm going to start coming to practice in this. I have to buy a bat suit now because I just bought this. So now I need the most legit bat suit and now start showing up for games like this. And I think T. Higgins made the point of like, I'd start going to clubs like that.
You can in some states get like these parade license plates or car show license plates where you have certain restrictions with it, but you can drive it in certain places. So I think it'd be really cool if Joe Burrow starts showing up to like children's hospitals like dressed as Batman in the Tumbler. Like that would be sick.
News up. Speaking of Batman, James Gunn has contemplating bringing Robert Pattinson's Batman over into the DCEU, or just DCU. I don't know what he's calling it, by the way.
DCU,
It's just James Gunn's DCU.
Yeah.
This is via Joshua Horowitz, and he said, but I'm committed to telling both stories in the DCU and Elseworld. I want the freedom to tell Elseworld stories, and that's a good idea in case one of these movies stinks. You can just say that doesn't count.
Yeah, no, it is a hedge is that exactly what it is. But I think when Gunn took this over, obviously the very first thing he's thinking about is Batman and Superman, and
Yeah.
there was no really. I mean, as much as we loved Henry Cavill, there was no real future with Cavill, and the Batman had just come out.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he spent weeks, if not months, considering bringing Pattinson's version and what's his name? What's his Matt Reeves's
I was like,
version
what are you asking me?
into his universe.
Yeah.
And I think he appropriately decided to not bring that version in because tonally it would be really hard to make that fit in the direction we think Gunn's going.
Yeah.
And the fact that it kicked off its own little universe without any help from anything else, I think it was smart to just leave it as
I think
is.
it's an easy sell to WB as well, of being like, look, we can make separate Batman universes. We can
Right.
make as
We
many
can have
Batman movies as
2
you want.
Batmen.
2 Batmen. And they're like, oh, those are the ones that make the money, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah. News dump. Speaking of James Gunn, Creature Commandos is now available on Max, 78% on Roddy T's.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it today, actually.
Yeah.
I've heard good things. I heard it's generally what you would expect from off the beaten path James Gunn sort of pen thing, so I'm looking forward to it.
News dump. Speaking of Max, we have had some actor eyeballing for the Harry Potter television series. Mark Strong, strongly being eyed for Dumbledore.
Yeah, I don't know if I love this. I don't know if I love Mark Strong, and maybe I'm just learning that this last few months. I don't know if I'm a Mark Strong guy. They said Mark Rylance is still in the running. I think that makes more sense for
This is
Dumbledore.
via Collider, by the way, but go ahead.
They also mentioned over the last week Brett Goldstein, who you would know from Ted Lasso, is being considered to play Hagrid. I actually think that would be pretty good casting. And then they are eyeing Papa Essiedu for Snape. I don't know who that is. He was in something that some people know. Some people are mad on the internet because he's a black man and Snape, so far in canon is white. but his race is not tied in to the central essence of the character. So I don't know why anyone would care, but of course, people on the internet do care. And apparently, every single kid ever is
Which
auditioning for the
this is
child
my
roles.
favorite part about it. So I do want them to get well-known actors that'll draw people in as the adult characters.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you need to get unknowns for all of these kids.
I agree, because you have to get kids that, first of all, need to pass for like 8, 9, 10,
Yep.
and then need to commit to the role for 10
And
years.
you need to grow with them, just like you do with
Yes.
the Harry Potter movie franchise.
They gotta go. They gotta Stranger Things it.
Yeah.
Is what they gotta do. Get some unknowns, and we'll grow with the kids as the kids grow with the role. But I think that's the way they gotta go.
You heard it there first. Mac wants Finn Wolfhard as Harry Potter.
I want Finn Wolfhard as Snape. Like, how, you're a professor already?
He kind of stinks, right?
I don't love him.
I don't like
love
him either. He's very
Yeah.
gangly now. I don't care for that.
He's gangly. Real gaunt.
News dump. Michael Myers, not the serial killer, shared his first reaction when he was pitched to be starring in the movie Shrek. This is via Vulture, saying, "That's the worst fucking title I've ever heard in my life."
I don't believe him, because I think he was just happy to get that, because it was gonna be Farley, right? And so
Also, he had been in a movie called So I Married an Axe Murderer.
yeah, I don't
So,
believe a fucking word he's saying here. This doesn't make any sense at all. And especially considering they were like 2 years into developing the project when
Yeah.
Farley passed, and then they took him in. So that makes no, and like I think he's lying about everything here. I don't think he was pitched to star in it, right? They already
Oh,
had
he
the
was
star.
he was pitched after Farley had passed.
After Farley passed, I think they were probably going over. I don't think someone was like, "Oh, we got to get Mike Myers." I think
No,
they just
so actually
stumbled into it.
they actually did. So that was their number one guy. They wanted Mike Myers, and Mike Myers read the entire movie in his normal voice at first, and he was like, "This isn't great. Like, this really isn't popping." And then he did the whole movie on his own with the Scottish accent, and they're like, "That's it."
Yeah, so that strikes me as behavior not beholden to someone who said this is the worst fucking title I've ever heard of in my life. He's lying. He's straight up lying.
Donk time, Shrek's-a-lance. That was a headline that I wrote. By the way, my wife asked me about this because you know how when you hover over a YouTube video, it'll show you like the first 10 to 15 seconds? She's never actually heard one of our podcasts or listened to one of our podcasts, but she'll hover and she'll hear some of it.
Yeah.
And one of the headlines played, I think it was from a couple weeks ago, where you were giggling at a headline. And she's like, "Why is he giggling at a headline?" And I'm like, "Oh, we do a thing where I'll write the headlines for Mac and he'll write the headlines for me. And we see it just before we go on, or right as we're going on." And she's like, "Oh, so you stole that from SNL,
Yeah.
Colin Jost and Michael Che." I'm like, "Well, we stole it from SNL, but it's more John Mulaney writing for Stefan."
Yeah, 100% we stole it because it's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Also, we steal everything.
Yeah, and we don't even do it well, but it's still a great
No.
idea.
We don't do it well at all. But that's one of my favorite things about Stefan, about Bill Hader, is that they would write out all the cue cards, and then John Mulaney would change all the jokes in them.
And it's a perfect combination because Bill Hader trying to hold it together is more funny than the actual jokes.
This thing.
Yeah.
News dump. Got a new teaser for Ballerina. I didn't see the teaser. I only saw the poster. It's a nice poster.
Yeah, 3-minute long teaser. I don't know why they don't call it a trailer, but 3-minute long teaser featuring a lot of Ana de Armas. And I am not at all looking forward to this, but because it's a movie starring Ana de Armas, I'll see it just like I saw that fucking shitty movie with her and Ben Affleck. What was the name of that one? Snail Boy or something?
I think it was Snail Boy. It was about
Yeah.
cucking, right?
Yes, pretty much.
Snails and cucks. That's what it was called.
Old cucky snail.
I still think one of the funniest jokes on network television of all time is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Who were the two older cops?
Oh, Scully and
It was Scully but it was the two older cops, and one of them called the other one a beta cuck. And I was like, that's the best thing ever.
I would say no one ever talks about Brooklyn Nine-Nine because it sort of came just after like those really good NBC sitcoms. Very underrated, really strong sitcom.
Yeah. Someone also posted on X, I think either yesterday or the day before, they said, "What is the best running gag in any sitcom ever?" And the one that I saw was the depressed music of Michael Cera walking in Arrested Development, which I do love. That is one of my favorites. I think sneaky, my favorite running gag in a sitcom is from Modern Family with the steps.
The steps is great. That is a really good. I was going to say the chicken noises in Arrested Development.
That is such a good one too.
Arrested Development for 2.5, 3 seasons has the best running gags because there's like 7 of them you can
It's
point to
all running gags at
just
that
in
point.
Arrested Development.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the step in Modern Family, though, I hit my head on the same pipe in my basement every single week.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
News dump. Got a new trailer for What If Season 3. Did you watch this? I'm not watching the show, so I'm not watching this trailer.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it because I watched 2 seasons of it. I'm not looking forward to it though, you know? I'll just watch it when I got nothing to do. I just yeah, we got a new trailer, so there you go.
News dump. Got a trailer for Invincible Season 3. When did all these trailers come out?
Last couple days, last day maybe. I'll tell you, uh, Invincible really shot themselves in the foot having like 2 or 3 years in between the first 2 seasons, and that really made me lose steam for the second season. And then season 2 wasn't very good. Wasn't very good. So I think they're like planning 5 or 6 fucking seasons for this show. So they better get on it because I don't really care about this show anymore.
News dump. Got a trailer for Severance Season 2, and I will watch Season 1 as soon as I get my Apple account back.
Yep.
We are rotating around on our accounts now.
Yeah, I love that for you. I am planning to re-up with Apple TV Plus once Severance Season 2 drops. The 2 shows I would like you to watch in the next few months is Severance.
I'll
season 1
definitely
and 2.
do it. I'll definitely do it.
And you still need to watch Mayor of Easttown, you son of a bitch.
Between that and I can't think of the listener that keeps telling us to watch
Andor
and then calling us dickheads. I do need to watch Andor.
You do need to watch Mayor of Easttown.
I'm going to watch Andor
show.
before Mayor of Easttown.
Mayor of Easttown's a 40-dog show.
Okay.
There you go. That should be it.
I'm too busy installing Fandeliers in my home right now to watch anything.
God.
You don't like a good Fandelier?
I don't mind a Fandelier. I just feel like, Fandeliers are giving like 1997, you know?
It is almost flush to the ceiling. It gives a ton of light. It gives a nice breeze.
Sure.
Great Fandelier.
I mean, I get it. Like, if you don't have central air, Fandelier is nice.
I don't have central air, and I think that normal fans put into a house, it's too big, it's too clunky, it takes up too much of the room.
No, I think utilizing that headspace for a fan is nice because you're not putting anything there anyway.
Call it a Fandelier.
But then you got to dust it. It gets. I don't love a Fandelier. I got a Fandelier in my bedroom.
You have a Fandelier in your bedroom?
Yeah.
Take a picture of that. Show me after.
All right, we'll do.
News dump. The Gore. We got a trailer for that. Scott Derrickson directing Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy for Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, I'm hoping this can coincide with Severance Season 2 so that I can watch it in my 1 month that I'll have Apple TV Plus in 2025.
News dump. And finally, via Collider, Sonic will have multiple post-credit scenes. Are they just going to keep going in this Sonic universe?
I guess if it's going to keep making $500
money,
million,
right?
You might as well, yeah.
Yeah. I do like Jim Carrey was doing some press recently, and he's like, I was really excited to do 2 different characters in the movie, both of the Robotniks, until I realized that I'd be doing double the work for the same pay.
He didn't renegotiate? No renege on his part?
Well, he's also the person who said after Sonic 2 that he was retiring unless he got something amazing, and then he came back for Sonic 3.
Yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it's probably really easy for him to do Robotnik.
That was a robot. I was doing the robot, guys. News dump. All right, join us at the end of the week. We've got ourselves Kraven. I'm jazzed about Kraven.
It's a movie. Yeah, it's a movie.
It's movie number 40 on the year for me. I think the perfect movie number 40.
Yeah, I think I'm up to 42 or 43, so this will be either 43 or 44. So I should be at 50 in a couple of weeks. I would love to get how many weeks are in the year? 52?
I think we try for 50 or 52 every year.
Yeah, I like to try to get to 1 per week on average. Yeah.
I think Keith does over 100 every year, doesn't he?
Keith watches a lot of movies.
He watches everything.
Yeah.
He's kind of a psycho.
Because there's so many bad horror movies that are like his speed. He'll just throw those on, and I can't do it.
I know. I'm looking forward to just constantly telling people to go and watch Snack Shack.
Snack Shack was good.
Yeah, Snack Shack was good. I like Snack Shack.
Ending kind of
every time I go through my Letterboxd D, that's the one that sticks out to me. I'm like, you know what? I was really pleasantly surprised by Snack Shack.
Yes, the fact that it didn't blow made us have good feelings for it, for sure.
And then I look at some of like the bigger, Blockbuster, or the ones that people are giving Golden Globe knobs to, and I'm like, fuck you, Kinds of Kindness.
Yeah. Short list of movies other than Snack Shack that you would recommend that no one's seen this year? You got anything off the top of your head?
You pull up my Letterboxd and I'll do
Yeah, I'm
that right
pulling up
now.
actually, My Old Ass, which is now streamable on Prime. I
Yes.
think people
Yeah.
should watch that. I just watched the first 2 chapters of Watchmen animated.
Mhm.
One's on HBO Max. The other one I think you gotta pay like $3 or $4 for. Both very strong. I would recommend those.
The
Uh,
Wild Robot, I know that, you might not
yep,
be thinking for an
yep.
animated movie. It's a beautiful movie.
I agree. So there you
The
go.
Bike Riders.
Bike rider. I had a discussion about the bike riders at work the other day with people who are like movies of fan. Oh, there you go. Movies of fans of movies.
No, movies are fans. I'm a movie
uh,
of fans.
but not
Fandeliers.
like they don't watch as much as we do. And the 2 folks that had seen Bike Riders said they fucking hated it, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
I
really?
really liked it. Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was I wasn't expecting how silly it was, and I really appreciated that.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I very
Yeah.
much enjoyed it.
All right, that'll do it for this news dump. Check us out for Craven at the end of the week. Hibbidi-bop-bop-ba-da-ba. News
Shoo-ba-da-ba-ba,
dump.
shoo-ba-da-ba-ba.